I never imagined I would become the headline of my own cautionary tale, but here we are. Posting on a throwaway because my main is clogged with wedding planning boards, and I'd like to lurk there without being pelted by popcorn emojis. Yes, I am the woman who abandoned a groom in front of 200 guests, a 4-tier buttercream monument, and enough mason jar centerpieces to qualify as a rural craft fair. I did it with receipts, a smile, and 0 second thoughts. Background first, because Reddit always asks for context. Ethan and I met 3 years ago during a corporate volunteer weekend painting murals at a children's shelter. He was leading the ladder rotation, cracking corny jokes, the sort of charisma that makes you forget he never actually finished his own section. We split a lukewarm pizza afterward, swapped numbers, and fell into that effortless rhythm where texting feels like breathing. 9 months later, we signed a lease on a sunny apartment. Ethan proposed on a ridge overlooking a lake that looked photoshopped. He produced my grandmother's ring, which he'd secretly borrowed from my mother. My happy screams scattered ducks. We FaceTimed our parents. Everyone cried. It felt cinematic. Planning consumed me. I built spreadsheets with color codes, joined bridal subreddits, learned the difference between charger plates and actual chargers. Ethan's contributions were mostly tasting cake and joking about hashtags. He had 3 firm requests: no open bar before the ceremony, miniature pecan pies instead of cupcakes, and an invitation for Claire Bennett. When I raised an eyebrow, he waved it off. Old friend. Helped him through rough times. I should have drilled deeper, but wedding planning is a relentless conveyor belt. You're so busy choosing linen shades called sand or bone that you forget head table placement. Later, I discovered Claire's nickname was B because her initials were CB, a detail that should have stuck out when Ethan mumbled it in his sleep. Fast forward to the rehearsal dinner. The barn venue was strung with fairy lights high enough to unsettle acrophobes. Ethan kept checking his phone. The planner dismissed us at 9. He kissed my temple and said he had to pick up a surprise gift for me. Jenna, my maid of honor, and I went to the farmhouse Airbnb. We labeled welcome bags. Everyone else crashed. Remembering Ethan's fancy pens, I opened the backpack he'd left by the door. Under the pen case lay a second phone. The screen lit with Claire's message. Can't wait to see you walk down the aisle toward me tomorrow. I unlocked it. Same 4-digit code Ethan uses for everything. The thread dated 18 months back. Bar selfies. A hotel mirror photo captioned, "Wish you were here." Her reply almost husband. And that night, "You promise she won't freak when she sees me?" Ethan, "She'll be too shocked to speak, Claire. And then you'll read the real vows." Heart emoji. Betrayal is strangely quiet. After 40 minutes of shaking, I began strategizing. First, I collected evidence. Screenshots of every damning message, every selfie, every hotel receipt. Then, I secured allies. My brother Mark, a Navy IT officer, answered my midnight FaceTime wearing gamer headphones. He asked how dangerous I wanted to get on a scale from campfire to flamethrower. I said surprise me. Finally, I controlled the narrative. The venue's AV system was perfect for projecting receipts during the ceremony. At 5 a.m., Mark and I met at the barn under the pretense of checking sound. The coordinator unlocked the place, too polite to question my jittery eyes. Once she left, we swapped the cutesy slideshow of childhood photos for a curated sequence of chat screenshots, each captioned in giant white font so even Nana could read. We embedded a timer to auto-advance every 10 seconds and layered Ethan's chosen instrumental track beneath. I wrote 2 letters, one to Ethan, folded into the ring box. Claire is in the front row. I'm not. Call her your bride instead. Good luck explaining. The second to Reverend Carter, a retired minister who believed in compassion but also accountability. I asked him to direct guests to the screen if I failed to appear, then lead a brief prayer for honesty. After a nap in a cheap hotel, I dressed in black jeans and a leather jacket that made me feel like the understudy for a revenge thriller. Mark picked me up with coffee and the calm of a man about to watch chaos he didn't cause. We parked behind catering vans. Through the barn doors, I saw Claire in powder blue satin, Ethan pacing. Music dimmed, seats filled. The coordinator signaled the processional. Bridesmaids walked, confusion flickering as they noticed my absence. My cue texted Reverend Carter, now. Lights lowered. The projector lit the back wall. Claire, can't wait to see you walk down the aisle toward me tomorrow. Gasps. Slide 2. Ethan's hotel selfie with "Wish you were here." Slide 3. Her reply almost husband. Claire bolted. Ethan spun helplessly. He opened the ring box, probably by reflex, and read my note. Color drained from his face. Reverend Carter closed his Bible. "I invite you all to reflect on truth, then depart in peace. The reception is canceled." Guests shuffled out. My dad guided my mom, her eyes wet. Uncle Steve shouted, "Guess you were wrong about that." A bridesmaid laughed, quickly stifling it. Claire clipped a decorative barrel while reversing. Eucalyptus spilled like defeated confetti. Mark and I slipped away, unseen. He drove straight to the airport. During security, I texted Jenna the short version. He invited his ex as the real bride. I showed everyone. Safe now. On the plane to Lisbon, ticket bought impulsively at dawn, I watched cell phone footage already online titled "Runaway Bride Exposes Cheater Live." Comments alternated between cheering and debating public shaming. My favorite? She weaponized PowerPoint queen. I toasted the sky with a gin and tonic, then ugly cried into a napkin. 3 weeks later, I'm typing from an Airbnb balcony in Alfama. Terracotta roofs stretching like quilt squares. My rescue mutt Bean snoozes at my feet. Mark flew him over as an early birthday gift. I've hiked coastal cliffs, learned enough Portuguese to order pastel de nata without gesturing, and filled a journal with lessons. Never silence your gut for harmony. Updates. Jenna forgave me after binge-watching the video, though I owe her a bachelorette do-over. The florist mailed my bouquet dried and sealed, free of charge. The venue refunded half since my reason counted as force majeure. Ethan's parents threatened legal action, but truth is a defense. Ethan sold the ring to pay catering penalties. Mutual friends report he's in his parents' basement, ghosted by half the guest list. Because people always ask for proof beyond screenshots. Here you go. The hotel bill showing Ethan's name and Claire's card 2 weeks after our engagement party. An Amazon history full of lavender lotion I'm allergic to, but Claire loves. A gas station bookmark in his maps labeled Claire's Townhouse. Misspelled, which somehow makes it worse. Legal side, we had a prenup draft. I hadn't signed. Canceling an unsigned wedding is paperwork light. His parents tried to pin vendor fees on me until my brother sent a time-stamped cease and desist. Discussion ended. Claire, it turns out, was engaged to a financial analyst named Drew. Internet sleuths found her wedding website before she pulled it. Drew dumped her, changed locks, and donated her designer shoes to a shelter that outfits job seekers. Drew, if you're reading, I owe you coffee. One Redditor asked if Ethan tried reconciliation. 4 days after the fiasco, he emailed a novella titled "Our Story Isn't Over," claiming the phone chats were nostalgic, the vow draft a writing exercise, surprising me with Claire an act of transparency. No apology. I replied with a link to the viral video. Silence since. A surprising hero emerged in the florist Amara. 2 days post-wedding, she called to confirm delivery of 18 hydrangea centerpieces. When I explained, she laughed, then offered to reroute them to a women's shelter on Ethan's card. The shelter posted a photo captioned, "Every flower deserves a safe home. Healing, courtesy of hydrangeas." Another thread wonders about money. My losses: gown deposit, hair and makeup trial, Airbnb, gains, airline points, a surge of freelance clients, and a projector company's endorsement offer. Mark suggests I donate the fee. I'm considering it. Practical notes for anyone tempted to replicate my stunt. First, I secured indisputable evidence. Public shaming without proof is just libel in fancy clothes. Next, I controlled the tech myself, bringing my own HDMI cable because trust, but verify. Then I made sure of a clear exit. Mark parked near the service lane so we avoided emotional choke points. Finally, sunglasses help if mascara melts. Bean the dog is thriving. My host's terrier has become his best friend. They share sun patches like retirees comparing golf scores. Ethan tried to claim joint custody. Apparently, narcissists think pets are marital assets. I reminded him Bean's adoption papers list me alone. End of discussion. One Redditor DM'd me asking if relationships can be repaired after such a bombshell. Ethan never apologized. He only lamented public embarrassment. That answered itself. To the curious, no, I'm not jaded. On a walking tour last weekend, The guide Lucas asked me to coffee after I corrected his Fado trivia. He doesn't know about the viral video. I like being just a tourist to someone for now. I won't deny the adrenaline crash. 2 days after arriving, I couldn't leave bed, convinced I'd be known only as a meme. Then I mispronounced obrigado in a cafe and still got a pastry twice the size I ordered. The world keeps spinning. People keep asking if confronting Ethan privately would have been kinder. He planned to blindside me publicly, reading vows meant for Claire in front of my family. Privacy was never his plan. I simply pulled the curtain first. Do I feel guilty? 0. Revenge might be unhealthy, but marrying a man who invited his high school sweetheart as a stealth bride is radioactive. My therapist calls my response precise. I wasn't cruel. I was accurate. If you feel dread instead of excitement while wedding planning, that's data, not drama. You deserve a partner, not a plot twist. Leaving isn't failure, it's editing. Sometimes the rewrite is better than the original draft. Thanks for sticking around, internet strangers. I'm off to catch the view from Senora do Monte and maybe flirt in clumsy Portuguese with the barista. Life is messy, but sometimes cleanup is the best part.